Dear student, today we will learn the hydraulic braking system. The hydraulic braking system utilizes the braking fluids, and the main component of the hydraulic braking system is basically this is the master cylinder, wheel cylinder, brake line and hoses, and the brake fluids. The hydraulic system provide the equalized pressure to all the wheels, and it is basically pedal operated system. Now you can see here is a diagram. This is the simple diagrams that will explain the basic component of the braking system. So here this is the brake pedal, this one is the brake pedal, and here the drivers provide certain efforts to this brake pedal, and there is a lever. This will further magnify the leverage ratio. This will provide this will generate a leverage ratio or sometimes mechanical advantage. So whatever the forces that has to be applied here, that has to be magnified there at this push. This is called the push rod. Here the magnification is to be done with the help of the leverage ratio. So here the forces F1 is enlarged with respect to the F1. Now this forces will pressurize. This is the piston, this one is the piston, this is the piston part, and this piston is operating inside a cylinder. This is called master cylinder, and this cylinder is filled up with the hydraulic fluids, or this is the brake fluids. The brake fluids is basically the glycol based fluids which is hydroscopic in nature, and the fluids is high heat resistance capacity, and this fluids is to be compressurized or pressurized with the help of this brake pedal, and this fluid goes to the wheels. Over the wheels there are two types of the cylinders are there. For the disc race, slip cylinders are there, and for the drum brake, slip cylinders are there, and for the disc there is a caliper, and that particular caliper or the slip cylinder provides the necessary braking effort. Now here you can see a basic diagram of a vehicle or the car. You see the basic layout of the braking system. Here this is the pedal, this one is the pedal. Here the force is to be applied, and this one is the this is the lever through which when the forces are to be applied, it goes through the lever, and this one is this one is called the power booster. Sometimes it is called the vacuum power boosters, and this power booster magnify the effort of the drivers. And here this side, this is the brake fluid reservoir. Here in this reservoir the brake fluids is to be kept, and here at the bottom side you can see this is the master cylinder. So these are the master cylinder, okay, and this one is the communicating valve, and through which this communicating valve the fluids, compressed fluid goes to the separate cylinders of the master cylinder of the drum brake or the caliper side. So you can see here this is the brake line, and this one is the brake lining, and this brake fluid, compressed brake fluid goes to the caliper. Here you can see this is the caliper. This is a large view of this. Here you can see the caliper, and this caliper is basically composed of the pistons arrangement. So when this one is the rotating disc, this rotating disc is to be stopped or the slow down with the help of the piston which contains the compressurized fluid. Okay, now you can see here at the back side you are seeing the rear wheels, and that rear wheel is equipped with the drum brake. These are the brake shoe of the drum brakes, and this one is the wheel cylinder. In this wheel cylinder the hydraulic fluids enter, and this hydraulic fluid pressurize this hydraulic fluids operate over the piston. As a result of this brake shoe moves in opposite direction, and as a result of this the brake drums is stopped or slow down. So here the braking action can be performed either by the brake drum or either by the disc brake with the help of the hydraulic fluids. Now here this one is a simplified diagram that will show how the braking is basically applied. Here this is a brake drum, and this one is the master cylinder, okay, and this one is the communicating valve, okay, or the distribution valves. And here you can see there are two output section of these master cylinders. Sometimes there is a single output section, that is called the single master cylinder, and here the two output sections are there. So this is called the tandem master cylinder now, and here the two outputs are to be given, and these two output provide a different output to the front wheel as well as the rear wheel. So this one is the brake lining, and this brake lining fluid goes to the caliper, and the braking efforts is to be performed. Here this brake line goes to the rear brake, and here this rear wheel is equipped with the drum brake. Here the braking efforts is also provided. So this one is the simple layout which will show how the fluid linings are to be established and how it is to be connected with the master cylinder. Okay. Now as far as the basic component of the hydraulic braking system is to be concerned, the component is the master cylinder. This one will play very vital roles, because this master cylinder pressurizes the fluids. Okay, and this master cylinder is having the two types. One is called single master cylinder, and this is called tandem master cylinder. You can see here this basic diagram of the single master cylinder, in which there is one pistons are given. This one is the piston, this one is the piston, and this one is the spring, and this one is the cylinder. Or inside this cylinder, this piston is to be operated. So this one is the reservoir, this one is the reservoir, this is the reservoir, and this black portion is basically this is the fluid. This is the glycol based fluid, and this fluid will goes into this cylinder, and by the action of the pedal, here this is the pedal, here this side the pedals are given. By the action of the pedal, this push rod is to be moved in forward direction, and this push rod ultimately operate over the piston, and the piston pressurize the fluids, and this one is called the output side. This one is the output side. Okay, and this pressurized fluid goes to the brake lining and ultimately goes to the wheels. Here you can see the master cylinder. The master cylinder basically the name is the tandem master cylinder. Here the reservoir is to be divided into two parts. This one is the part 1, and this one is the part. There is one reservoir having two chambers. Okay, see, each reservoir fluids operates independently to provide the braking efforts either for the front wheels or either for the rear wheels. So here you can see this is the one reservoir provide the braking pressurized brake fluids for the braking action of the front wheels, and this one is the other reservoir which provided the braking action to the rear wheels. Here, if any of these lining get fails or get leaked, in that particular cases the braking action is to be performed either in the front wheel or either with the rear wheels. But in case of the single master cylinder, if there is simply one lines are to be given and one chambers are to be given. If the lines get bricked or get damaged, then the braking actions get failed and it will not operate it properly. So to avoid this accident, the master cylinder is to be divided into two separate chambers, and two separate chambers is to be utilized for braking action. Okay. Now here this is the same master cylinder, but here the linings are in a diagonally split type. Okay. Here this is the diagonal side. So let us suppose this one is the rear side and this one is the front side. So front left side disc is operated with the help of this one chamber, and the rear right side this wheels is to be operated by the same braking lines. These are the same braking lines. So here these are the braking lines which will operate the front vehicle front wheels and the rear wheels simultaneously. And this braking line, this chamber, the chamber number 2, this operates the front wheels, and this one is the one rear wheels. So if any of the lines get failed or damaged, in that particular cases, one wheels of the front and one wheel of the rear will be operated properly, or the brakes is to be done over through this front wheels and the rear wheels. So the chances of accidents get reduced. Now here this is the basic diagram of the tandem master cylinders, how this tandem master cylinder basically operates, and what are the internal structure inside the tandem master cylinder. Here you can see there is a reservoir. In this reservoir is divided into two chambers. This is the chamber number 1 and this is the chamber number 2, and the chamber number 1 fluids goes into the one piston arrangement, and chamber number 2 fluids goes into another piston arrangement. Okay, so here this is the force, or here the paddle arrangement are there. Here this is the paddle arrangement are there, and when the effort is to be provided from this side, so the piston number 1 operated independently, piston number 2 operated independently. So if any of the line get damaged or leaked, okay, in that particular case the other line work properly and the braking will be performed. Okay. Now this is the same diagram, but is the different perspectives. Okay. Now you can see here the hydraulic brake systems, how the hydraulic brake system is operated in the drum brake and disc brake. So here this is the drum brake. So the white lining, this is the white line, this is called the drum. See, this is the rotating drums. These are the rotating, and the red portions is the brake shoes. And here this is the rectangular section. So you can see here this is the rectangular section. These rectangles are the slave cylinders. Here at this particular slave cylinder, the compressorized fluids is to be provided with the help of this master cylinder. So when the drivers operate or provide braking efforts, so this braking efforts goes to the master cylinder via, this is the vacuum boosters, or this is the power boosters. Okay. So if the driver operate the 10 Newton forces on this brake pedals, so this one is to be magnified by the leverage ratio, or it will develop certain mechanical advantage. Here you can find out that if the leverage ratio is the 4 times, then you can find the effort is to be increased here over 40 newtons. Now if this is the vacuum boosters, and this vacuum booster further add to these efforts, let us suppose this also add the 60 newtons forces. So ultimately 100 Newton forces will act over the piston of the master cylinder, and that force will pressurize the fluids, and that pressurized fluid provide the braking action to this drum brake. Okay. Here you can see that this caliper, this slave cylinders, or this slave cylinder provide the necessary braking actions. When the pistons move in this opposite direction, this pushes the brake shoe. Ultimately this brake shoe come in contact with this drum brake, and the braking action is performed. Now here the same diagrams, but here in this particular case, disc is to be rotating in place of the drum. Here the disc is to, and over the disc there is a caliper, and that caliper provides the necessary braking actions. This is the caliper actions. There are the 2 pistons. Okay, and these 2 pistons provide the stopping and slow down this rotating disc. Okay, so the drum brake and disc brake provides the necessary braking effort. Now you can see here the basic construction of the power booster, or sometimes it is called the vacuum power boosters. I've already explained that whatever the effort that is to be given here is to be magnified here, and this has to be further magnified with the help of the power booster. Ultimately the high forces is to be utilized for developing the pressurized fluids. So here this is the power booster chamber, and this power booster chamber is divided into 2 parts. The space is divided into 2 parts. One part is exposed with this vacuum line. This is the vacuum line which is connected with the engine vacuums. Okay, so here this particular region is the vacuum regions. There is a diaphragm. This one is the diaphragm. This diaphragm is supported by the springs. Okay, so at this other side of this diaphragm, there is a chambers, and that chambers is exposed with atmospheric air. Okay, so when the brakes are to be applied, then the air enter into this particular chamber. Okay, as a result of when the air is this side and the vacuum at this side, there is a pressure difference is created. So this pressure difference provide the necessary forces to move the diaphragm. As a result of the diaphragms get moved. That means whatever the effort that is to be provided by the driver is to be magnified by the leverage ratio first, and this ultimately it is magnified by the vacuum boosters or the power boosters with the help of the diaphragm, and ultimately it is utilized for pressing the hydraulic fluids, and that hydraulic fluids provide the braking actions. Okay, so this is the simple presentation of the hydraulic braking systems. We will understand the other basic concept in the next video.